workout is simulating St. George a little bit. So we started above half Ironman pace as like we're getting out of transition, and then he was settling in about maybe right in the middle of half Ironman pace with some surges every 30 seconds or every 5 minutes for 30 seconds. And now we're about to go into a long steady interval, and then we're gonna try and simulate Snow Canyon a bit, but right now just refueling, getting some ice because it's like 50% humidity in Arizona right now, which is unusual, so heat training. Most of the way there.
How are you feeling?
Legs are actually decent. The power's not bad. It's not like I'm knocking it out of the park, but for 24 hours or so after international travel and first big workout back in the heat, not bad. So just got about 2 more days of hard stuff, and then we're all in for St. George. You have to be good, Tucker. Show everybody what a good dog you are. Cool. So, yeah, just uploading the workout now, but basically got back from Slovakia Saturday night, and then took Sunday pretty light with just a swim, and we have like today and maybe a couple more days to kind of hit it hard, and then it's a full-on taper for St. George. So today's bike was pretty big, just over 3 hours with probably 2 hours and 15 minutes or so of right around 70.3 pace, give or take. And I mean, if we look at the weather, I think we started off at like 85 and 50% humidity, and now it's like 92 to 95, and I think it's 40% humidity right now. Yeah, pretty much right at there. So hot and humid and pushing 70.3 watts. So we were give or take, but there's some short intervals kind of simulating the beginning. We went into some longer stuff to hold steady and simulated some surges. And then we finished strong because St. George with Snow Canyon being about a 15-minute effort or so, you got to have power late in the race. And that's something that we've been working pretty hard at. So that was a big effort, a big focus during today. So overall, I'd say that I pretty much hit everything, which is really good considering the heat. Off maybe on a few things, but we didn't need to hit this out of the park, didn't need to go to the well, just needed to get the work and the effort in, and kind of move on with the rest of the workouts during the day. So got a swim coming up, which should be kind of strength based, maybe getting down to some race pace, and then some mile repeats in the evening, probably in some even more heat, like hotter heat at the end of the day. Just kind of a swim toward the end of the day. Nothing really crazy here. It's mainly just volume today. So about 5K, maybe a little over, a little bit of negative split, a little bit of fast 25s in there. But main thing is just volume and getting the yardage in. With just the fast stuff is just to kind of keep the sharpness and make sure that there's just a little bit of speed work in here.
CBA, never say I've been on my grind for 7 days. Need a race, swear to God I'll never be the same. TBH, TBH, yeah, CBA, never say I've been on my grind for 7 days. Need a race, swear to God I'll never be the same. TBH, TBH, yeah. Pull up.
Whoa. Game plan is to win. No, I mean, my game plan is never really that much of a secret. It's to swim fast, bike hard, and see what I can do on the run. So training's been going well. I'm feeling good, feeling confident, but you never really know what's going to happen on race day. So I just want to go out and execute my best possible race, and at the very least make everybody else work for it. Okay, can you lay down? Lay down. Good boy. So yeah, this is in between workouts, usually just hanging out, and figured I'd go back through and just get everybody up to date on what's been going on with my season, how we've approached everything. And I think the last time I really kind of mentioned anything was maybe after Italy, the IT race, and before the Olympic selection and all of that. So with not being selected by the US Olympic team, I decided to craft my schedule and had the opportunity to take the time to plan it all really well and prioritize training and get back to the fitness levels that I saw at the beginning of the year before I had some last minute races, was trying to squeeze some stuff in. So we took a big focus throughout the middle of the summer to getting good training, and had a little bit of racing with the New York City Tri, which turned duathlon, and that was a good kind of checkpoint in there. I ended up second place behind Jason West. That was kind of the first step, though, confirmed a few things that we had been doing in training and saw a lot of improvement. So that was good. And then we went back to work and spent a lot of time in San Diego to escape the heat of Arizona here, and that allowed us to put in some really good training and target Escape from Alcatraz, which was one of the big goals besides the Collins Cup and 70.3 Worlds, because I was going for my 4th win in a row, and no other male has done that before. Honestly, I just love the race. So jumping off the boat, an ocean swim, hilly bike up past the Golden Gate Bridge, and pretty much tracing the same way on the run. And just kind of a quick recap of that would be like, it was a very solid day overall. As far as my racing, basically was at the front most of the time. It was one of the hardest swims, I think, in recent years, with just the way that the wind and the current were going. I just kind of did what I usually do and followed the same game plan that won me the first 3 Alcatraz races. From there, we really didn't take too much rest because we didn't have much time before the Collins Cup. And while I prioritized that race, I didn't fully taper into it. So we still had some big workouts in San Diego. And then once I arrived in Slovakia, and just kind of added in some volume and some sharpening, and probably a little bit bigger of a week than usual, but ended up adapting to the time zone super well. Got a little bit of extra sleep while I was there, and was feeling great the whole week. Having a team there kind of created that fun, not like no pressure, but a little bit of a different pressure environment where I could go out and take some risks and see what would happen against my heat of Daniel Baekkegaard and Max Newman, who are 2 really strong athletes, and was able to do just that. Got excited about the race and was able to kind of have a tactical swim where nobody truly wanted to lead, but tried to find like a few little surges in there, tactical surges, and made a little bit of a blunder at the far buoy in trying to take it super hard to get the guys off my feet, but took it a little bit too hard and had to readjust. So we came out of the water together, and I was able to have some really good transitions, which let me separate. And you can see Tucker running around. It's exactly, he's just illustrating how I tried to attack the swim to T1. I just tried to push the pace and ended up having a really quick transition, which gave me a solid gap going onto the bike, and just rode my watts, rode my power. Once Daniel Baekkegaard caught me, I was able to relax a little bit because I knew that he's a good runner and we would have a bit of more of a tactical race overall. We might be running shoulder to shoulder. Max Newman, I don't think, was having the day that he wanted, and he was just off the pace a bit. So it really came down to Daniel and I, and again in transition, just was able to get through really fast, and he just had a little bit more in the tank, I guess, on that day. So he created a bit of a gap, but I was still trying to run pretty decent all the way to the line to make sure that I didn't give up any extra points for Team USA, and was able to cross the line and be pretty proud of my race. I had a really strong swim bike and a pretty decent run overall considering the circumstances of the race. So it was a good confidence booster going into this next block, and unfortunately, right around the race or right after, I tested positive for COVID. And with the information we were given, my test had me at a really low level of COVID, so it was still positive nonetheless, even though I'm vaccinated, and we had to take certain precautions to make sure that, you know, we didn't unknowingly spread the disease. So the PTO did a great job working with the ex-Bionic Sphere and the Slovakian government to quarantine us, keep us in a little bubble, try and get us opportunities to train, especially on Zwift. And I just tried to make the most of the opportunities there, and was able to get home about a week after the race finally. And that brings us to here in Tucson, here in Phoenix in Arizona, where I'm doing my final few days and a little bit of heat prep before going up to St. George, where we'll do final sharpening workouts and a full-on taper to get ready to race the world champs. Tucker.
Oh, sorry. Here.
He was going nuts. It's okay. That's character to the video. Oh, you got your puffs. What do you want? A little piece of bacon? Who doesn't like bacon? You don't want bacon? No, not yet. Not ready. There you go. Feed yourself. Independent. Yum. There you go. Use those 2 teeth you have.
What are you doing out here?
Oh, you know, just keeping up with the yard. Someone's got to do it. Sneaks up on you. House looks way better when this is cleaned up. And we're out of town so much, and we train in the summer in another state, so we come back and sometimes we're surprised at what grows, especially after getting a bunch of rain and monsoon.
Look at that. Realist says you're done. Not in this heat.
The thing is, you think you're done and you see more, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what always happens to you. You start a job and then you gotta finish it, and it's 107 out and humid. Yeah. You gotta tell everybody how quarantine was for you, for me not being here. You had to do it. You had the harder job. You had to take care of this one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of tough because you don't get a break at all. Like, even those, because he's gone a lot anyway when he's training, and so we're kind of used to that a little bit, but you kind of take for granted, like, the 10 minutes here and there where he's holding her or helping out in between sessions. So that was kind of rough. Like, we planned for a week, and we're like, okay, we can do that, we can handle that, and then a surprise week came. Yeah, so, and we didn't know how long it was going to be either. I mean, we thought it could be longer than that, so that was kind of tough too because we just didn't know when he'd come back. So it was all in all 14 days and 8 hours. I'm just kidding.
If you can't tell, Briella is super active. She never sits still. I think this is the stillest she gets, pretty much right here. So she doesn't really like to nap very much, and sleeping is kind of 50-50. Sometimes she'll sleep, sometimes she won't. So.
Yeah, usually not through the night though. So it's just, yeah, you're on constantly.
Yeah, so.
So it's nice to get a break here and there. And we kind of missed our chef, so I stepped up in that department, but
yeah,
it's nice to have you back.
You're the baker, I'm the chef.
Yeah.
We trade jobs. It works out. Yeah, high five. Can you high five? That's a wrap. Yeah. You gonna kiss? Oh, those are good kisses.
Yeah. Wow, honey, good job. Kiss Dada?
She's like, okay, I'm done with Dada now.
That is
I'm the mama.
so cute. Hey, can I have a kiss?
Oh, you want to give Daddy a kiss?
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Real kiss. Kiss. Thank you.
You're so good.
Yay, I've been waiting for this moment for 9 months.
Yeah. You're so nice. It's been a good couple days. We crammed in a lot of different training. It was kind of the cap to my build to St. George. Most of the work is done, and a lot of it is just sharpening up and about to start the taper for St. George. So we'll finish this video up with a few questions, and if you guys want to keep sending them in to us, we have a little bit more time once we get into St. George with less working out. We could maybe hit a few extras. So send those in and we'll answer a couple now. We have a question from Gabe, who's asking, what area have I been trying to improve the most leading into 70.3 Worlds? So this comes into the kind of the old saying of train your weaknesses, race your strengths. Overall, over the past few years, swim, bike, and run has been really kind of leveling off. We've taken a big kind of approach and focus on running to improve that, so that I'm running efficiently off the bike to be able to simulate what I've been doing in practice in a race. And at the same time, kind of in parallel with that, over this summer we spent a lot of time working on bike strength and bike power to get it up to some previous levels we've been at and really focus, because St. George is going to be a pretty brutal bike course. Looks like Ross asked, do you train primarily alone or with a group or a team? So I've done a little bit of both. Recently it's been more alone, especially with COVID, with some training partners every now and then hopping in with me, and I found that helps me the best, just be able to be flexible with my schedule, do the exact specific training that I need, and then for people who are training for something similar or it works out with them, being able to just match up and agree on a workout works out fairly well in that respect. Thanks for watching, everybody, and like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.